things about trading Forex is that you don't actually know exactly which trade is going to be a crazy winner or just another loss.
What's up, everybody? We are currently live.
We're taking away the weekly.
Trace back down to what we've got. Evidence that price is going to be bullish.
Point sort of chasing the market. I was more than happy to stay flat.
Hello everyone.
With the kangaroo toe.
Always recommend trading on the 5 minute.
Some of these exotic pairs and pretty steady uptrend, making these higher highs and higher.
Mostly trend following.
The stimulus in a certain way.
Good morning. So currently looking at GJ, looking for this to continue up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this so you can see the analysis here. We're actually going to go back in time to about right here. All right, so if I go on the 30 minute, you're going to see that today, since early this morning, late London session, early New York, we had this huge fall, right? This huge drop. There was a lot of volume in that, right? But as you can see, it looks like price is kind of like reversing here. Okay, so after she had that huge fall, we look on the 15 minute, she has a reversal candle, right? She has a reversal candle right here. Okay, so within looking at that reversal candle, we see a bullish engulfing, right? And then what happens next? We have price consolidating, right? So if price is consolidating, we're looking to see what she's going to do, right? Is she consolidating to continue moving up, or is she consolidating to just continue her move down, right? So my thought process was, okay, if this is a bullish engulfing, we're between here and here. I'm going to delete this circle so we can focus on this, right? All I'm waiting for is for price to stop playing in this area, right? So she ended up breaking up this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the next candle so you can see it. I'm going to put it back live. All right, as you can see, if I put my lines back, right, this was the consolidation. She ended up breaking up again, right? However, there is a resistance right here. So if you were taking a buy, there is a resistance. All right, so that's the only thing about this. All right, so where's my thing here? So when we joined here, you see I had set up like here, stop loss below this candle, target possibly the news correction here. All right, let me get my thing right here. Ooh. Bring it across. Okay, so if you notice, like I said, if you notice, this area was brought over. Why? Because it's a big zone. It's a big deal. So as you can see, price came right up to this area, and now she's kind of retracing herself, right? She's retracing. So that tells me that she's having a hard time breaking through this resistance. So you want to make sure when you're marking zones that you're not just saying, oh, okay, the top of this resistance. No, you got to look at the detail, right? So if you're looking on the 30 minute, you may not see that. You know what I'm saying? But if you break it down to the 15 minute, then you're like, oh, okay, I see that detail. I see this resistance coming across. Let me be careful. All right. So the importance of going to different time frames is that you can see the details of the little resistances that you may not see on a higher time frame, right? You may be trading this on a higher time frame and be like, oh, what happened? Like, what's going on here? But like I said, if you break it down, then you could be like, oh, okay. So I just want to point that one out. Alrighty. Now, just to go over this move from the morning, I'm going to show you right around here how you could have caught this move. Alrighty, so just looking at this was at 6:30 in the morning, New York time, right? We have price consolidating, right? She's consolidating up here. And then what do you see, right? If you made this a support, you made this a resistance, right? She was playing in this area, and then what happened? We got a closure below, right? Look at this candle. Let me take this away. Just showing you how you could have caught this big drop this morning, right? We got a closure below the zone. We also have a reversal candle, right? So we got two things here. We got a reversal candle, and we have a bearish engulfing closing below the zone. There's two hints there that we're going to sell. Okay, also price is currently creating some type of resistance, right? Now, if we break it down on the 15-minute, you may say, hey, where's that resistance? Well, if we come over here, if we bring these across, right? If we bring this area, there is a resistance. Okay, so there is a resistance on a smaller time frame. But nonetheless, looking at the 30-minute, right, we got a closure below the zone. So what you could do is, if you're not sure, you don't have to take an impulse entry as she's breaking through. You know, you may be like, okay, I'm a little nervous. I'm not sure if she's going to go down. Well, then you can wait for the next candle. You know, I always recommend wait for closures and then wait for the next candle. You're going to see that if you wait for a closure, then you're going to lose a lot less trades because you were patient enough to wait for price to close at a lower price. All right. So you may say, Lens, if you've been to my streams before, you may say, hey, you usually look for clean candles. Well, there's not so much clean candles here. It's a lot of consolidation. However, if you are expecting volume, remember volume will always overcome consolidation. Okay, so if I zoom out, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna give you an example of clean candles. Clean candles is like this, right? These are nice clean candles. There's no traffic. There's no like consolidation. It's just a nice drop, right? But if I go to like right here, what do you see? Consolidation and all that. Those aren't clean candles, you know? So within that theory, you don't really see clean candles over here. You just see consolidation. But you got to look at the overall picture. So anytime you don't really see clean candles, you can just go to a higher time frame. Okay. So the 4 hour kind of gives it away. But if you're on the hourly, right, and obviously this wouldn't be this far down yet, but if you're on the hourly, at least you can see that, okay, this is all blue. This is all blue, at least down to this support area, right? At least down to this area. You can see some solid blues here. You can ignore this noise, right? You can ignore this, but at least from here to here, you can see it's solid blue, right? All right, so that would hypothetically be your first TP, you know, just looking at this at a higher time frame. You know, and then the other way I would look at this is, okay, there's a lot of support right here. You know, if she breaks through here, then maybe I'll look at this area, you know. So now you have your potential TP1, TP2, and it's just from switching time frames. You know, you don't have to stay on the same time frame. But it's important that if you can't see something or if something's not cleared, that you do switch time frames, okay? So let's go back over to the 30-minute. Let's talk about this. All right, so this is just having a setup, right? You want to have an ideal setup before something happens. You don't want to hop into a trade and then be like, oh, where am I getting out at? You know, so this is just the plan. So, all right, backtracking this again, we have consolidation. We have price closing below, right? She broke below our consolidation zone. This is what we're focusing on. So let's wait to see what that next candle does. Now, I always recommend, if you do watch my streams, that you look for a wick up rejection and a push down, right? I always recommend that because that's price showing you that she's rejecting to go up. So let's go to the next candle. Let's say you waited, she closed below, that checks off your box, boom. What did you see here? What did we just say? A wick up rejection and a push down, right? So this rejection right here was price saying, no, I'm not going up, right? She rejected to go up. So you have like double confirmations here, which makes your trade a higher percentage in winning, right? And what you would do is as she starts to push down, you would take that impulse entry, right? Let's take that impulse. And depending on where your spread is, you know, you're not going to get in right here. You know, you're going to get in a little lower. But your stop's above, right? Put your stop loss above that candle. Let me just move this over a little bit. Okay, what is this? About 10 pips stop loss. And then what are we going for? TP1, 18 pips. TP2, 44 pips, right? Okay. And you're looking at this on the 30-minute. Now you can go down to the 15-minute, you know, and maybe after the next 15-minute, maybe you'll put a trailing stop somewhere, you know. So let's go to the next 15-minute candle. Boom. Look at that wick up rejection. She's still pushing down, you know. So maybe you'll put a stop loss, you know, a trailing stop right here. Or maybe you'll put a trailing stop at break even. You know, it's your choice. It's your choice, but you definitely want to make it a risk-free trade, especially after she at least hits take profit 1. You know, once she hits take profit 1, it's your choice whether you're going to stay in the trade or you're going to exit, you know. So this is 18 pips. All right, take profit 1's 18 pips. And as you see, she retraced back up. You see that? She retraced back up. So let's go to the next candle. Boom. You know, and she continued down. So, you know, you may say, how do you know whether to stay in the trade? How do you know to not take your profit at TP1 and to stay in for TP2? Well, the answer to that is you kind of don't know. You know, it's kind of like trading is kind of gambling in a way, because it's like, do I get out here or do I hold it? You know, and that is why I always say put in a trailing stop. You know, if you were trailing stop in this, right, if you moved it above this candle and you were okay with getting out here, then you wouldn't have closed your trade because you had a trailing stop. You know, let's say you were watching it on the 15-minute. Maybe you put your loss above this candle and then the next candle came crashing down. Let's say you're watching it on the 5-minute. Same thing, right? Maybe you were following it candle for candle. I don't know. You know, it's your personal choice. You know, so that all comes down to personal preference. All right. Any questions about this move? I'm going to read the chat now. Any questions? Radim, I see you repping Lins. Atilio, let's go. Antonio Parker, good morning, good morning. Mona, I see you. Relinquish, Maria Fax. Jason, I see Jason Nabarra, let's go. FO Feeling, shout out to everybody, let's go. George Ellis, Marie, good morning. Light Skin, Ajit, Takolo. Any thoughts on your USD? I don't trade your USD. Thank you for answering my question, no problem. Lens, how you doing? What's up, Lebo? 30 pips, but pulled the stop loss, was satisfied with the lesson. Okay. Is this a scalping setup? I guess you could call it scalping, but I mean, this trade, you know, if you're in it from the beginning, from 6:30 to, was it 8 o'clock, 7:30? So about an hour and a half trade. I don't really consider it scalping, but I guess. Tech Space, I see you. Bakagans, D. Gibson, Monique, what's up, what's up? Can we predict the bearish from the Mazda? I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. All right, so let's see. So let's put this back live, right? So continuing what I was saying was, you know, this is what happened prior to the news today. If you're wondering what the news was, if you go over the Forex Factory, it was at 8:30 here. It was core PPI, all right? And the news was red. All right, so that's at 8:30. So if you're wondering, I did not get this move today. I did wake up late today for my stream, so I missed this entire drop today. I wish I would have caught this drop. That would have been nice, but it's all good. So here, okay, so here's 8:30. So this 8:30 candle was the news, and that's what we were just going over. So I'm just going to put it back live now, just so you can see it. All right, let's delete that. And look at her now. You know, so if sometimes when you come on the charts, let's say you just woke up and you came on the chart. Me seeing this big move, me seeing that I missed this, it didn't make me hop in. So you want to make sure that you're staying disciplined. If you miss the move, you miss the move. You don't want to get FOMO. There's moves every day. It is unfortunate that you missed the move, but it is what it is. I missed this move this morning as well, and it's okay. It's just something I have to accept. But I just tell myself, you know what? You'll catch tomorrow's move. And we just keep it pushing. All right, so let's move over to gold. Let's talk about gold. So gold I had set up here for sells. As you can see, she looks like she's falling. It actually kind of looks like a head and shoulders, but not really from afar. I'm going to show you what we mapped out earlier. If I put this in replay mode right around here. Actually, no, I'm going to show you the move before that. I think it was here. So if those of you who watch Raja, Wicks Don't Lie, if you watch Controller Effects, I checked out their streams this morning while I was on my stream, and we all had the same analysis, which is kind of funny on gold. So I'm going to show you it. I'm going to show you what ended up happening here. Was it this one? I think it was on the 15-minute. Was it on the 15-minute? Let me see. I think it was on the 15-minute. Yes, it was. It was. Okay. I'm sorry about that. It was on the 15-minute. All right. So let's put this here. Coming on stream this morning, this is what I see. I said, okay. I said, price, she came down to a support area, right? We see that. She came down to a support area. Then she started to bounce up. Clear, right? That's pretty clear. Okay. So within looking at this, I do like to look at it on the 30-minute. This is an order block area right here. So I thought that she'd be on blast off. You know what I'm saying? Because this was an order block area, I figured she'd just continue like blasting up. But that's not what happened here. Besides it being an order block area, just looking at this, we have a reversal candle. We established that she was at support, right? We already established that. Ooh, chose the wrong thing here. Right? We have consolidation here. So we got a bullish engulfing. We got consolidation. Top down to the 15-minute so we can see it a little clearer. So I figured, I said, okay, maybe price is just consolidating to continue up. That was my theory. So let's put our consolidation in here. We got our resistance. We have our support, right? This is the area we're focusing on. If I delete that, what do you see? You see this next 15-minute candle wicking down, right? As she's starting to wick down, and she starts to push through this area, right? She's starting to push through the zone. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe we're going to continue up. And again, all three of us had the same analysis this morning, so it was kind of funny. And the trade didn't go through. But if you look at this, we got these nice clean candles here. So what I did was I put a zone here on top of this resistance, and I figure, okay, maybe she'll just continue her push up to this zone, right? At least get this wick fill right here. If you look at it on the 30-minute, these candles look, looks like, okay, maybe she'll get up there. But the way this closed on the 30-minute, look at how it closed on the 30-minute. No bueno, there's like no volume in here, so we'll go back to the 15-minute. I'm going to show you what the next candle did. Next candle kind of consolidated. I was like, that's not a good sign. Right? So now she's still consolidating here. And I'm like, all right, maybe she has a chance. Maybe she doesn't. But you do want to recognize the bodies of these candles are really small. So when the body of the candles are small, that means price is kind of losing momentum, So we go to the next candle, bang. So I was in this trade and I was like, okay, there she goes. She's finally going up. As soon as she went up, I moved my stops to break even because I didn't like the fact that she was slowing down in volume. So I didn't want to take a high risk on this. So this is what my trade looked like. As soon as this candle started shooting up, I had an impulse entry. I was targeting this area. Stops were below. But again, as she started to shoot up, I ended up putting in a trailing stop here. So no risk for me. I'm going to show you what happened. That next candle had a reversal. I figure, okay, maybe it's just a pullback to continue up. Nope. Then she comes crashing down. But did I get upset? No, I changed my analysis. So I did not take a loss, but I'm going to show you what I did do. What I did do was I said, okay, all right. If she can't break these highs, because now we have a bearish reversal candle. This is a pure bearish reversal candle, right? Now she's showing me that she's just making a pullback here to continue down. That's what I see. All right, just because this is a bearish reversal candle, and if we look left, there is resistance in this zone, right? If you go to a lower time frame, you're gonna see that there is traffic. I probably have to go to the 1 minute to show you. Let me see. But you know what I mean? There is traffic in this zone. There's actually an order block in this zone on the 1 minute. But you know, I really seen her coming down. So what I did was I said, all right, that's cool. I didn't really take it out because she's at break even. However, I need to update my analysis now. So if she is coming down, then she should be breaking this trend line, right? If she's trending up, allegedly, then for her to come down, she has to break this trend line. So if you go back to my stream from this morning, you will see that I put a trend line here, okay? I did miss this move because I think I went to another pair, but you'll see this next candle did, in fact, show us what? A rejection to the top side, right? Another rejection to the top side, and she started pushing down right here. So this would have been that entry candle. This would have been a good candle to enter on. But again, I did miss this entry, but just so you can visualize it. This is just a pure example of being able to accept that maybe your analysis was wrong, and sometimes you have to change it, you know? So don't be discouraged anytime a trade doesn't go into your favor, or if you're like, oh, wait, that's wrong. You know, sometimes it may click and you may be like, oh, okay, this is what's happening. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Alrighty, so if you would have did it like this, it would have been about a 14 pips stop loss. Let's see how far this candle's down. This candle alone is already 11, 13 pips, depending on where you entered at. All right, and I'm gonna show you the next candle. Boom, you know, straight down to TP there. So again, you know, the importance of being able to accept a wrong analysis and to switch it up, you know, you can still be in profit. You know, if you notice the last trade, I managed it really well. You know, I didn't take a loss. I had my stop loss at break even because I seen volume was slowing up. But you know what I should have paid attention to? If the volume is slowing up, then that's a good indication that she's going to come down as well. So, you know, you just want to pay attention to those signs. You know, reversal candles, volume slowing up, trend line breaks, wick rejections. You know, those are all indications of downtrends. You know, so sometimes when you go back and back test your trades for the day, you may see that you missed a lot of signs. You know, she does give a lot of signs. You just have to study them. All right. Makes sense to y'all? Does a gold trade make sense to y'all? Let me know in the chat. If you have any questions, be happy to answer. A little bit confusion on the time frame. Yeah, no worries. You know, getting used to time frames does take work. Like, if you want to know what I did, I would start on the monthly, and I used to work my way down slowly. Like, I used to try to understand, like, okay, this is what it looks like here. This is what it looks like on the weekly. This is what it looks like on the daily. You know, I try to slowly break it down, and I'll go back and forth. You know, so you may want to take a day to just study time frames. You know, if you're finding that you're having trouble with time frames, just take a day just to study them. Like, what does this look like on the 4 hour? What does this look like on the 1 hour? You know, and just go back and forth and take notes. You know, the more you can see what they look like on different time frames and understand it, the better off you'll be, you know. All right, so I'm gonna put this back live. Looking at this, like I said, it is continuing down here. I did have a support here because I figured it would at least come down to this area today. as you can see, she's dangerous. You know, if you're looking at 8:30, that was the news. If you're looking at 9 o'clock, look at these wicks. You know, definitely trying to stop hunt people out for sure. Definitely. And another thing I want to point out is this trade was right before the news, so I don't recommend. You know, if you're trading right before the news, you definitely want to secure your profit or put it in a trailing stop. Right, so I'm gonna put this on a 15 minutes so you can see. The news was at 8:30. This is an 8:15 candle. Boom. So you see what happened here? So you would have been at a loss, you know? So it is very, very important that you're paying attention to when the news drops so that you don't lose all the profits, you know, that you just gave. Yes, well detailed. Okay. TMA asks, does your analysis work only on GJ and gold? No. So I trade price action, which means, if you don't know what that means, you know, I'm trading the patterns of the candles. You know, so when you learn what the different candlesticks mean, when you learn how they react against one another, when you learn, say, like double top, double bottom, head and shoulders, break of structures, right? And prices breaking structures, all that good stuff, that's all price action. You know, all that is candlesticks. You can use that on anything because what's on all of these charts? Candlesticks, right? Go to US30, what you see? Candlesticks. You know, you can use price action on any pair because it's the candlesticks. That's what moves, you know. All right. GU, almost forgot about this. I did graph out this buy here. I didn't take it, but I'm seeing that it did go through, looks like. What's interesting about this is if we put this back, check this out. Let's say you held this trade out, right? If you go to the next candle, what happened here? The market is doing a lot of extra testing today. Look at that. Look at this wick down here, and then it went into favor. What's up with that? You know, that happens. There's nothing you can do about that. But it looks like that was at 9:45. But yeah, but one thing I do want to say about this is say you get this close to your TP, right? And this is for beginners. You're not that far off. You know, you can close your trade. You know, if you see here, we're chasing down. You're literally one pip away. Don't ever be one pip away and then not take the trade and then lose. You know, that's a mistake. You know, you don't want to leave money on the table. You know, so if you're a couple pips away, take your TP. I had someone in my Discord chat say they were up 40 pips, right? They were up 40 pips and it ended with 0. They got stopped out at break even, and they said, well, you were up 40 pips. And they're like, yeah, but I was going for 60 something. I think it was 60 something pips they were going for. They're going for 60 pips and they were up 40 pips and they ended up with none. You don't want to do that. You know, you definitely don't want to do that. All right. So definitely don't waste that money. Thank you for the information. Can you make a trade right now, any currency analysis trade, even with the dollar? No, I can't make a trade right now because that's against my rules. I'm done trading for the day. If you do want to see me take a trade, you can come onto my stream early in the morning. You trade only the 5 in your watch list? Yes. Only what you see here, pretty much. Let's see. We didn't go over US30 today, did we? I didn't really take a look at US30 today because I didn't like the way it looked. You look at the 15-minute, you're going to see, look at these candlesticks. You know, they're really small in volume. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't like the way something looks, then don't trade it. And that goes back to the question, the person saying, can I take a trade live? You don't just take a trade just to take a trade. If you're taking trades just to take trades, that's why you're stuck where you are, because you're just trading just to trade. And you don't want to do that. Okay, you definitely don't want to do that. You should be sticking to your trading plan, sticking to your rules. Put a time aside, say, okay, I'm only going to trade from this time to this time, then I'm off the charts. You know, so if you're not able to do that, then you're definitely not ready to trade. Let's take a look at US30 on a daily. What I'm seeing is an uptrend. I do see this going on, right? So what do we see here? And this is on the daily. This is on the daily. We're going to do a top-down analysis on the daily. I see she's bouncing off of support. What do you see here? Bouncing off of support. What do you see here? Bouncing off of support. So rule of thumb is you need at least 3 touches for a trend to be valid. Okay, 3 touches. So let's take a look at this, right? You want to point that out to yourself just so that you see it. Let's take a look at the daily candle. What do you see? Is she bullish or bearish? Well, she's blue, so she's got to be bullish, right? We see a wick down rejection. We see her bouncing off of the trend line. Looks like she's moving bullish, right? All right, so the daily candle's looking quite bullish. Now, if we take a line here, it looks like there's a resistance right here, right? Just taking this candle. And if we put a line here, there's another daily resistance. So you can always measure these out just to get an idea. But let's break it down to the 4-hour. What does this look like on the 4-hour? Well, what do you see here? Remember that line we had on the daily resistance? Remember that line? You see it on the 4-hour, right? You see that resistance here. So let's take away that line. Okay. Now, what does it look like? Looks like price. You can see here right here. You see that reversal candle bouncing off of the line. You see that on the 4-hour. Now, imagine if you've seen this on the 4-hour. Ooh, my fault there. Imagine seeing this on the 4-hour and being able to catch this. That's over 178 pips. All right, but anyway, catching up to where we are. What do you see in the area we're currently at? What's this 4-hour candle doing? Well, currently, it looks like she tried to come up, and it looks like she's rejecting, right? It looks like she's coming back down. So it looks like she's having a hard time. That's what I see. And if I really want to just focus on this area, then I'm probably going to put a zone at this 4-hour resistance to show myself, okay, at least she broke above this 4-hour resistance, right? She broke above. So let's hop down to the 1-hour. Let's get a little more detailed now. What do you see here? My fault, didn't mean to move that. What do you see here? Well, let's update our resistance. This is where the resistance is. Okay, now this makes sense. Why is she having trouble? Because there's resistance right here, right? This is why she's having trouble. Remember, this is where we're currently at. All right. Makes sense. Now looking left, this was that 4-hour resistance, correct? So don't be afraid to put text up here. You can put, okay, 4-hour resistance, cool. Makes sense. That way you don't have to remember, that can just help you out. Is that a doji? So I don't classify something as a doji until the candle closes, right? So you have to remember they are higher time frame candles. So that candle, what was that on the 4-hour? If we go back to the 4-hour, the candle still has 2 hours and 25 minutes left. If you look right here, it has a timer, 2 hours and 25 minutes. So it's not done closing. But if the candle was closed, then you could say, yeah, it's a doji, but you can't say that yet. All right. So here we are in the hourly. Okay. Just move this over. We do see we see a wick rejection here, but it just looks like it's consolidating. It's not clear yet, right? It's not too clear. We need a little bit more detail here. So let's go to the 30-minute. What can we find here? What do we see? Wow, triple wick rejection. That's not nice. You don't want to trade that, right? Who wants to trade that? Nobody wants to trade that. Look at this. This is to trip people out. So if you're seeing stuff like this, you should not be hopping into the market. You shouldn't, because price is indecisive. That's what it means. It means price doesn't know if it wants to go up or down. So if price doesn't know if it wants to go up or down, how are you going to know if it's going to go up or down? You don't. You know, if I'm looking at the range, this range is 114 pips. There's no way, especially a beginner, we shouldn't be risking 114 pips, but there's no way you can be risking 114 pips. You know what I mean? One of my favorite mentors thinks 10 pips profit's good, starting to practice on it. Let's go. Yeah, go for 10 pips. All right, so let's see here. So looking at the 30-minute, you know, if you are looking for her to continue up, then you would want a closure above this zone, of course, right? That's what you would want. Remember we talked about price consolidating and then breaking above. If I take away this candle, you may think, oh yeah, she's breaking above. No, these are dojis. These are still dojis. All right, so those aren't confirmations. They're not confirmations at all. We hop over to the 15-minute, you see this consolidation a little more. Look at that. So, like I said, this is where you don't want to trade. Don't be that person. Save yourself the time and the money. All right, you want to make money, not lose money. All right, so, you know, there are times when I'm on stream, people are like, oh, go to US30. And I'm like, US30 is consolidating right now. And they don't understand what I'm saying. And this is what I mean when I say that. You know, it's consolidating right now. It's not time. You know, so you do have to understand when it is time to trade and when it's not time to trade, of course, you know. Alrighty. And then if you want to hop down to the 5-minute, it's not going to get any different. It's just going to be a bunch of consolidation. So, you know, this would just be one of those days where you just wait and see. You know, you could put a price alert if you want. But for me personally, I would leave it like this. I would save it. And I just go about my day. You know, maybe I'll check on it later on. But I would just go about my day. You know, there's not much here. All right, so that's pretty much what I have for y'all. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Hopefully you learned something new today. Hopefully you learned patience. Hopefully you learned to not just hop into things that, you know, you do have to analyze it and try to understand what's going on with price before you take a trade here. But yeah, I do appreciate y'all coming through. Really do appreciate that.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching today's stream. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. And hey, before you go, make sure to check out our guest on social media, as well as subscribe to the A1 Trading YouTube channel for more free trading content throughout the week. Before we go, I do also want to say down below in the description, there's all sorts of great perks for you if you're looking for a broker. We've got some recommended brokers. We've also got a Telegram channel and email newsletter that you would probably benefit from if you're an aspiring trader. So take advantage of some of that free stuff down below. It will also help out the channel tremendously, and we will see you back tomorrow.